Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Monday, May 11th. And I got a dog in my arms. This is not my dog. This is my daughter's dog. This is Gabby. And things great about dogs is whenever they're with you, they just encourage you because they're so cuddly. And they love to be pet. Right, Gabby? You love it. And so she always brings encouragement and joy. I remember when I was really sick, we had a pup. Oh, you want to go? All right, see ya. When I was really sick, we had this one dog, and she would just always curl up on my legs when she knew that I was having a rough go, and just always bringing encouragement and blessing. And there's this great verse in Philemon, and it says, I, Paul, am writing this with my own hand. I do wish, brother, that I may have some benefit from you in the Lord. Refresh my heart in Christ. Refresh my heart in Christ. And that's what I need. I need people who will refresh my heart in the Lord. And that's what you need. And I want to be one of those people. I want these videos here to be one of those videos that refreshes your heart. So I hope it does. And today I'm going to talk with the chairman of our board, Ryan Hogan. Ryan, just his friendship refreshes my heart a lot. And he's got some great ideas and thoughts and perspectives on who we are as a church and where we're going. So let's talk to Ryan now. Hey, good morning, Ryan. How are you today?
Never been better.
Never been better. I can't help noticing that you have a zebra in your background, and I have zebras in my background.
It's true. We're going with a, African savanna theme for these meetings. So
that's right. We should have wore black and white striped shirts, and we would have just disappeared in our screens.
Just floating heads. Floating heads.
Hey, so great to talk to you as chairman of our board. I love our friendship. I love your leadership. I love how we get to work together. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to the church on things you're thinking about these days, things you're saying that you feel like are going really well at the church, maybe some ways that God is speaking to you about the future of ACC. So what do you got for me?
Awesome. Well, the feeling's mutual, first of all. You're fantastic to work with and a fantastic friend, and I really appreciate, just everything you bring to this relationship, if you will. That's a loaded question. You're giving me way too much leeway on what we're going to talk about. Let's go to Jeremiah 18. I shared this with the elders last night, and this is just all over my heart at the moment. Jeremiah 18, just the beginning of the chapter here. This is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Go down to the potter's house, and there I will give you my message. So I went down to the potter's house, and I saw him working at the wheel, but the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hands. So the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as seemed best to him. Oh man, that's just been standing out to me so much the last couple days since I read that for not the first time I've read it, but the first reading it here recently. And this whole situation is a weird opportunity to reshape your own personal relationships, oddly enough. For some people, I know it's super stressful, but it's just this weird reset I'm finding in my family, like where all of a sudden, instead of rushing, I have 4 kids, 3 of them are in sports. They're at that age, right? And one little one. And this time of year, we're usually running out the door the minute I get home from work.
Yeah.
Now I maybe go out the door like 2-3 times. I go to the grocery store. We go for walks and go hang out in the yard and stuff, but I'm not rushing anywhere. We're not rushing to the ball diamond to go to a baseball game. I'm not rushing out the door to go to work. I'm not rushing out to go to a meeting. I got a couple here and there, but most of them are from home at this point. Yeah. And it's just this really weird opportunity where I feel like God's putting that margin that we didn't have before back into our lives, but he's forcing it on us, right? We're being remade in that way.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of things like that going on in our lives, like spiritually and even with the church itself, that everything that we're doing feels like it's still the same bit of clay that the potter's working with, right?
Yeah.
They're just reworking it, reshaping it.
I love it.
What does that look like? I don't know, but.
Yeah. I love the imagery. And I was talking to another friend about this too. And he said, we're in a unique situation and we'll be in a unique situation when we all go back together again, because we'll be
Mm.
able to make choices about what we put back in our lives, right?
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
being forced on us right now. But what will we do when it's not forced on us? Will we still make the decision to
Mm.
say no to some great things in order to have this kind of quiet life? Or will we just go back to, well, back to, we forget all these things and just are busy, busy, busy again?
Yeah. And like, even just the simple act of, I'll say, so my wife's birthday was a few weeks back, and she's like 29 or something now. I can't remember.
Nice.
Super,
And
super young.
and a beauty.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't ask how old my oldest daughter was, because then the math gets really weird. Anyway, but we bought her a little gas fire table for the deck. Always wanted one. We have a nice big back deck, and we just go out and sit there on a fairly regular basis. We wouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
right? Like we would have done it like once, maybe twice, a couple times a week, maybe, right? When we had a spare moment just to relax. But we just go out there, and then maybe my daughter brings her guitar. She's working at her guitar class, learning how to sing some songs and play guitar, and we just hang out and do that, right? So I don't know, it's been fantastic in that way, and that somewhat is offsetting the other side. The other side is the uncertainty and the anxiety, and the unknowns on that end, the
Yeah.
financial unknowns. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
The other thing that you do lots of thinking on, you've really shaped me and been pulling me forward quickly, is in the whole area of our virtual ministry. How can we think about that in new, fresh ways? How can we as a church be thinking about how we can use this new platform? Like when this virus is done, do we go back to how we were before?
Yeah, I honestly don't know that we do. We kind of do, but everything that we're learning now, all the effort that we're putting into figuring out how to put things online, and we're getting better each and every week. Like that's the thing. Like each week we learn something new. We're implementing something new. We're trying new things. Once we figure out a few things that work, I don't think we're ever going to get rid of that. That's always going to be there. The next thing is, even for the people in the church, like people like me, is it's actually easier. So this is my call to my fellow congregants, to my fellow believers in our church, is that it's almost, this is somewhat a cop out in a certain sense, but you can easily share the gospel online. People can also ignore it, but at the same time, it's a lot easier to say, hey, come check out this week's service with me, or check out this video was really encouraging. This talk between Pastor Tim and whoever, right, on the ACC dailies and that kind of stuff, or some of the videos that Michael's putting out, or any of the other pastors at our church.
Yeah.
And just sharing it and just using that as all that is a jumping off point into a conversation with your friend.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, that's one of the biggest things I feel right now that God is calling us to do, is like, we're always being called to, to talk to your neighbors, meet new people, invite them in, because our entire goal is to model Christ and to show Christ and invite those people to have a relationship with him. And in this case, while we can't necessarily meet in person, the baby steps of that is the simple sharing of something.
Right. So just go on. Yeah. You see the service and it's just a share button somewhere, and you just, or copy paste a YouTube link and send it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier. Like I understand this. Like I've grown up in church all my life. I'm a pastor's kid. I've gone to church every Sunday for forever, usually multiple services a day on Sundays, right? And I'm usually there on weekdays too, growing up. Like that's where I've lived. And even for me, it's awkward to go, hey, you want to come to church with me on Sunday? Right? Like it's this weird proposition to your friends. But at the same time, this is an easy way to do it, and it's a baby step. And hopefully that leads into a conversation where when we do reopen, when we start meeting, or if you're meeting as small groups, like when small groups really start opening back up in person, that's a great segue to say, hey, we just meet and we learn a little bit. We learn about God, read the Bible a bit, and we spend time praying with each other and building relationships. Do you maybe want to come join?
Yeah.
That's I feel that that's what
Yeah.
I see the potential of that
Yeah.
anyway.
And join a Zoom meeting. You just have to sit
Yeah.
there and listen if you want. You can have yourself muted the whole time, right? But just come join the Zoom meeting. And we're just talking about life and faith and hope. And we'd love
Yeah.
for you to join us. Yeah, that's a simple invite.
Yeah.
No,
No,
that's cool.
absolutely. So that's what I'm seeing, and I'm really encouraged by it. And I hope that that's a behavior that doesn't just exist online. But if you start doing it online, I feel like that's your baby step towards moving to doing it in your everyday life,
Yeah.
right? In your in-person relationships. And I know that's something we all work on. Some people are really good at it, like my grandpa, for instance. Send him to the store for a zucchini, comes back with a cucumber, but hey, he prayed the prayer of salvation with the manager. So we'll forgive him for that.
Oh, that's awesome, Ryan. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate your thoughts and your input, and I'm so glad you're the chair of our board. I'm so glad for where God's going to take us, and we're having an elders retreat here in a couple weeks or so, or whatever.
Yep.
And I'd love to be able to interview you after and just hear what kind of give us an overview of how God was speaking to us.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Have a great day.
Sounds good.
Oh, that's great. I think I think what he said is fantastic. This idea that we're sort of forced into a quieter way of life, forced into having to slow down. And we've thought about this and we've wanted this, and God has gifted us with this forced slowing down. And of course, the question is going to be: will we hold to these choices when the pressure's off? Will we hold to the choices of spending more time with the Lord and spending more time with our spouses and our children and just being quiet? These are good things. And maybe we will, maybe this will impress deep on our hearts and we'll be that kind of people going forward. I hope so. I hope our church is that way, that we lean more into our relationship with Jesus and listening to him and being in his presence and loving on each other, finding ways to connect any way we can. Our world it's going to pick up pace again. I just think it will. And I want to make good choices in those days. So I hope you have a fantastic week ahead of you. And I'm looking forward to all that God has in store. I'm excited about what we're going to do this week. And he's got a kingdom to win, and he's invited us to join him. So let's join with him together. Have a great week.